Hi, in tonight's video I'm going to talk a little bit about Kavanaugh, Jeff Sessions, and Rosenstein, and what is probably going to happen. Okay, the latest is everybody I'm sure is aware that the nomination of Kavanaugh for Supreme Court has been postponed because Jeff Flake failed us. Because he's retiring and he's not going to run again, he got all emotional at an elevator when a liberal woman who would have never supported him anyways. If she lives in Arizona, which I don't even know if she's eligible to even vote for him, or has voted for him, or even knows that he's not running again. But one thing I do know is that she was very liberal, and Jeff Flake failed the country, not just Arizona. But it doesn't make sense. Jeff Flake heard everything, and he still fell for that sob story, that fake acting that was disgusting in front of the whole country. But that doesn't amount to much. He's still going to make it, I'm sure. I hope so. Now that they know that they can't, have anything that they can really do about it, the Democrats, because there's no evidence, no witnesses. So they're going to go after the fact that he drinks beer. That's disgusting. But it's all worth it, because if we get Kavanaugh in, when I say we, I'm talking about, the conservatives. If you're liberal in watching this, you probably don't want him. But either way, you know that it was a disgusting act, that the way that the process, the way they went through this job interview. And I don't put all the blame on the Democrats. The neocons and the establishment Republicans are just as guilty, because that's what obviously Flake is. But now this is where it's very important that we get Kavanaugh in, because we got to think of things like the pro-life people and the Second Amendment. That's why this will be very, very important, and a very good thing that we have Trump, somebody like Trump, as our president, that has a chance to select these people that are pro-life and pro-Second Amendment, and that he makes sure that it's done before the midterms. And that's what Donald Trump's goal is, I hope. Even though Donald Trump today, he spoke in Tennessee, I watched it and I always get all pumped up about his rallies and enjoy them. But I didn't like it when he talks about it. I stopped the video on YouTube watching it when he said that, bragged about how he put that embassy in Jerusalem. That makes me mad. That was one of the things I don't like about Donald Trump. That was a bad decision. And the fact that he keeps believing that Assad gassed his own people. Correction, I don't know whether or not he believes it or it's just part of something plan he has. But there's one thing I do know about Trump anyways. I know I'm rattling on off subject, but this is kind of important. Is that I believe that Donald Trump, I thought about this a little while. I'm wondering, why does he surround himself with all these Zionists and everything? And he spoke when he ran at AIPAC how he's not going to be manipulated by them. I think Donald Trump knows that he can't get rid of them, and that we need the Federal Reserve, and we need support in the Middle East, and it's important that we're able to keep some friends in the Middle East, in case for military defensive, bases there, planes taken off, and aircraft carriers in the water and stuff like that. But I think he's trying to be the boss over them, instead of just, like listening to everything that Bibi Netanyahu says and be his puppet, he realizes that he can control them, that they're dependent on our money for all their little, so that they can, their Iron Dome, and they're building these weapons that they bomb Syria with and Iran. But this is what I hope Trump does. I hope he continues with that plan and controlling them, but he also stops making other stupid things, mistakes like defending Palestine. Defunding, not defending. I'll go back to the Supreme Court. I hope shouldn't have rattled on that much off topic, but it gets me a little angry. The Tennessee rally was going good until he said that. Okay, now there's another thing. Rosenstein. This is smart of Trump to postpone the firing of him, or trying to get him to quit, because it would be much better if he quit for the midterms. But then after that, if he doesn't resign, he can go fire him after the midterms, as long as we got, kept the Senate and Congress, all of Congress. I don't believe that it's going to be it's such good news for the Democrats that they keep saying. I think people are coming around and they're getting a little bit more conservative. We'll either stay about the same, I think, or maybe gain a few. There's obviously still a lot of liberals, a lot of left in this country, but people with the internet and just think back in the 80s or 70s, there wasn't even cable TV, there wasn't internet. People were dependent on the radio and watching the news during dinner time for a little half an hour, and the government got away with so much. But now we have a leader that says he wants to drain the swamp in America first, and we have the internet, and he's on Twitter and Facebook, and there's internet radio, there's everything. So people are paying a lot more attention, and it's good. And when people pay attention, they become more conservative, and they realize things like, before they used to say woman's right to choose, but now they realize that how far that went. Now there's over 1 million abortions a year. And I don't think that's the idea of the average citizen's idea of a woman's right to choose. Over 1 million fetuses killed a year. That's my opinion anyways. Again, I went a little off subject, but it's not so much off subject because abortion is a big part of the Supreme Court. So, and Kavanaugh's pro-life, and that's very important to me. Now, this is a little, with the ladies, this might be a little touchy. Just think about this, though. If those allegations were true, at that party, he was 17 and she was 15, and he groped her through her clothes. There was no rape, there was no skin-to-skin contact, it was through the clothing. It almost sounds like they were all having fun, because they said the judge jumped on both of them. Possibly he was just trying to, like a typical horny 17-year-old, trying to kiss her. And when she said he covered her mouth, that could have went another way too. Maybe she was trying to kiss him and he didn't like it and blocked her mouth. Who knows? But there was no witnesses, so I'm not worried about that. What I'm worried about is I don't think anybody in Congress is even concerned about that. They're just going to vote against them because it was somebody Donald Trump chose. That's fact. So that's my opinion there. But McConnell said, and Lindsey Graham, two people I never thought that would be so strong for one of Trump's decisions. But it's, Supreme Court, they stick together a little bit. What's with this Graham? Ever since McCain died, he seems like he's getting on board on the right side again. That's good news there. But Flake was very disappointed, and McConnell's starting to do his job too. But we'll see if this continues. There's another thing too that a little bit disappointed, but it might change. Is Fox, the poll? Quinnipiac University did a poll. 42% of Americans, they say, want to confirm Kavanaugh, and 48% don't want to. That's not good news. And this is put out by Fox. Figured, well, they evidently were telling the truth. And I wish it was the other way around, but it'll change, I'm sure, when time comes around and they actually finish and get him in the Supreme Court. But that, this is going to be very interesting around, especially to watch some of these faces like Rachel Maddow and everything when he gets confirmed, especially around the midterms. So that's, I guess, about it. Hope he doesn't fire Rosenstein. That would be a big mistake. Wait till after the midterms, and I hope Kavanaugh gets, confirmed. So that's my opinion, and leave a comment if you'd like. Till next time, please give a thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you.